Hi there, and welcome back to the Nerd Lair. We got another Marvel review here. Going to be reviewing the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. I wonder if you could tell that this is my favorite superhero. We got a lot of Spidey-related stuff here sitting on the shelf, so thought I'd bring it out for tonight's review. I did my normal categories that I've done for all these reviews if you're at all interested. But I'm going to start out by saying this. I was very surprised with this show. It wasn't even on my radar. And I love Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man shows. I like the movies. I love the movies. I can't say that enough. But this show came out of nowhere. Took me by surprise. When I saw this announced, I was like, here we go. Another, MCU project as of late that is not quite living up to the hype. And this really did shock me into how much I liked it. And my review score at the end here is not as high as I maybe would have thought when I watched it, but it's okay because I think it's good where it is. I think there's room to grow. Let's just hop through the categories here. Number one, the story. I thought the story was phenomenal. At every aspect of the show, I was like, I want more, I want more. Why is this only 10 episodes? I want this to be 20 episodes. I was watching the original, well, not original, but the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, which are only 13 to 14 episodes a season. And I guess I was like, well, this kind of falls in line. If they do, 3-4 seasons of this, it'll be similar to this show, which I love this show and have been kind of rewatching it now. I would say that the 10 episodes was okay. I thought it did what it needed to do. The story within it of this new Spider-Man, which is slightly different from all the other Spider-Men that we have seen before, and all of the villains, which we'll talk about later, that are coming up, I thought they did it in an expert way. They integrated, and spoiler alert, by the way, they integrated a lot of villains here. A lot of villains. So I thought that they did a fantastic job getting all these side characters to come up through the ranks, and there's a lot of people to like here. And I'm not just talking about, the big ones like Harry Osborn and Peter Parker. I'm talking about, we're talking Lonnie is a great character, and his best friend is a great character. And they have Doctor Strange in here for a little bit. And there's some fantastic characterizations for these people and them moving forward. You can kind of see where they're going to be going with some stuff that I just really like it. So the characters are a 9 for me. The story is a 9 for me. Those two categories are both 9s. The visuals, I give an 8.5. I like this style. It's not the greatest thing ever. I went from that show to watching Invincible to where I think in the show Invincible, I think that animation is a step below. And so I was like, this is pretty good. It's not the single greatest animation I've ever seen in my life, but it's pretty darn good. And I was pleasantly surprised. Sometimes there were some cool moments where they cut to another comic frame, and I thought, man, that is a cool thing to do. Just really enjoyed the visuals there. Direction, I give a 9. At all points, I was invested. I can't think of a single point in that show where I was bored. A single point. That's just me. I mean, you might have been if you watched it. I cannot think of one single part of that show where I went, not for me. For every little thing, I was hooked into what they were doing. I thought it rolled into the next thing, into the next villain, into the next person really well. I have dialogue and humor. I have that an 8. There wasn't a whole lot of humor, but the dialogue was really good. 8 to me is good. And I just subtracted a few points because it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it establishes everything and it helps. We put all this together. It's quite good. The emotional impact, I have it a 7. There are some moments that get you that you're like, whoa, is he going to make it through that? This is a new Spider-Man. Is he going to be emotionally challenged with that? But nothing, nothing along the lines of or anything like that. So I can't put it any higher than a 7. Soundtrack and score, I gave this a 9 for the theme song. I love the theme song, and I know it's not that original, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. But then the rapping with it, I thought, this is an awesome theme song. And it's a theme song that I listen to on my own time. And I don't do that often. There's only a few theme songs that I listen to on my own time. This is one of them, and I absolutely jammed to it. It's a 9 for me. The regular score was beautiful, MCU, great music, and then you had the really good intro, 9 for me. Legacy, I have question mark 6 right now. It takes place in a different universe than the rest of the MCU. It's slightly different. Is it gonna matter if you watch this show to understand everything else? No. Is it probably going to be something that's on everyone's radar? I'm also going to say no. I love it, but I love Spider-Man. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. If you're not a big Spider-Man fan, I could see you enjoying this show yet. It does start at ground zero, but you have to have a little bit of, I think, a background knowledge to enjoy all of what they've done with this show. So I'll put it at a 6, legacy-wise. The villains, they're really setting up the villains here. And you have to. Spider-Man is known for the villains. And so I think, well, down below here I got Lizard. You can't see him, but Hobgoblin. I love Spider-Man villains. I think I had a friend ask me the other day, Batman or Spider-Man, and both have, in my opinion, the best sets of villains. And I just love Spider-Man villains. I got them all sitting here on my diorama I showed off a few weeks ago, and I'm looking at Doc Ock, Lizard, Electro. These are great villains. Green Goblin, a great villain. And they're setting up, I think I like the slow roll with Harry Osborn here. They're really making him seem like this great guy. And if you're a new person to Spider-Man, you got to watch this and enjoy Harry Osborn in this show. They're setting him up beautifully. So I really like what they're doing with the villains, with all the different tiers and how they make you care about them. All of them have a redeeming quality, I think, that makes them kind of interesting. Only one of the villains, and I'm not going to say who, is just like, in my opinion, pure evil through the whole show, and you're just like, yeah, I'm cool if Spider-Man beats you to a pulp. The rest of them, I'm like, man, I'm going to feel bad when they turn bad. So I think that's a 9. Overall enjoyment, I give this show a 9. I was blown away. I have been going from show to show to show. I went from this show immediately into the new season of Invincible, which I'm caught up with now on the weeklies, into the anime Solo Leveling. Phenomenal set of 3 shows. And I was just thinking, man, there's just not a whole lot on TV. And then boom, boom, boom. I mean, I'm talking 3 of my top shows I've watched in the last 5 years, 3 seasons right in a row. So very cool. Overall, this movie gets an 8.35 out of 10 when I take all those scores, and to me that's, I think, the highest thing I've done so far yet on these reviews. I think everything's kind of been in the 7s. I think I had an 8.1 with Captain America, but 8.35 is now the top dog on the channel. So excited about that. I think it is that good. In all the MCU TV, I think, and I don't know yet because I haven't graded it, and I could, but X-Men 97 would be the only show I'd put above, and that's like, I'd have to really compare it. X-Men 97, though, really blew me away. I watched the original X-Men show, and then I watched 97, and I watched them all in a row, and it was special to me. That was a special show. So X-Men 97, and then this, and then things come after it. But I really liked it. I know some people don't like the race swaps in here. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I don't know why that would bother you. I mean, I get it if you're going to stay faithful to the comics, but the character, to me, is all that matters. I don't think the race swapping matters all that much. It did not hinder me enjoying the show. I think it was actually great. Because it really feels fresh and separate from everything else. They gender swapped Lizard, or Dr. Connors, and I go, okay, what are you going to go with this? Is it going to make sense in the story? So I could see why that would bother some if you're a real true diehard Spider-Man comic. I do love the Spider-Man comics. It just didn't really bug me. I don't get bugged by that as much. So overall, very enjoyable. Highly recommend. Go watch it. Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, may God bless you. Have a good one.